Hello and welcome, Draft League fans. Today we're going over the quarterfinals of the Smogon Circuit Championship. So, if you're unaware, this is basically an event, spans over the course of the whole year. And so, what happens is there's a bunch of qualifying tours, and doing well in those qualifies you for this main event at the end of the year, which is the Circuit Championships. And the prize here is like a custom avatar or something like that. So there are some like reasonable stakes to it. These players have been working all year to qualify, and here they are in the quarterfinals. Oh no, not this game. Yep, this game. We're gonna see all these games. You have mod. I don't know how to mod you, and I don't think we need a mod right now. Anyways, let me go ahead and link the stream, then we can get into it. If you want to catch my streams live, join my Discord server, linked below. That's where I'm plugging everything. At streams roll. There we go. That should do it. You have to moderate the chat. You make a compelling argument. How do I do this? Can I do this through Streamlabs? It appears I cannot. If I can, then I don't know how to. Therefore, it will not be done. Unfortunate. Anyways, let's give a few minutes for people to stream into the live stream. And then we'll start. 3 dots next to your name. I click on it and nothing happens. What gives? Am I just not logged in? Specifically within my OBS? Who's to say? Who's to say? Who's gonna tell chat to like the stream? Well, you could do that anyways, right? You could do it whenever you wanted. For example, right now, OG Albina wishes for you to like the stream if you're watching. So, I mean, I guess we have to, right? That's a moderation task? Okay. Top level draft league? Yeah, these are the 8 best players ever. Yeah, let's go ahead and start looking at this matchup, right? I know the thing on your screen, that is a Sneasel dash Hisui. Yes, believe it or not, Sneasel has made an appearance in top 8 of the biggest tour of the year. And yeah, let's look at the matchup here. So Iron Valiant is going to be the main thing, but there is a G-King, so, it can happen. So not something you want to see as the Iron Valiant user, but you do have things to also threaten the G-King, right? Gouging Fire can set up on it, barring T-Wave. Mew could be something like Terra Dark, knockoff, something like that. If it's like a physical Mew, could be Poltergeist as well. Something like that is really strong. I don't know, like the G-King doesn't have a whole lot of answers long term, so maybe that's going to be an interesting point of the matchup. We've seen Enamorus on the other side, so the two best fairy types kind of going head to head. Now Soggy Sage has no fairy resist, so that's going to be an issue, right? Maybe the Mew is a Terra to resist that, but as it looks, that's definitely a big threat in the builder. Iron Bundle, maybe less of a threat as like it normally would be. Right, there's a Lapras, there's a Gouging Fire. Both of them are pretty reasonable answers to it. Let's see, what else here? Gouging Fire itself looks pretty good, right? The Dual Stab is always excellent. The Charizard X effect. So if you can get a DD going, then that could be pretty, threatening. Booster attack, maybe to stack boosts, stack multipliers. You're able to break through even a physically defensive Slowking per chance. Donphan here. Probably going to be getting rid of a T-Spike, honestly, because I don't see a Grounded Poison, and I see 2 poison types that can both set up T-Spike. So maybe that's going to be Donphan's job here. Maybe it could be Boots for that reason. I'll get rid of that T-Spike pretty safely. Elephant matchup, by the way, Treads versus Donphan. So a lot of matchups here. Treads, though, I mean, Booster Speed is going to stop the Gouging Fire from getting too out of hand. Maybe you could see like a special set, Earth Power plus Steel Beam or something like that. That'd be funny. Probably just could be physical though. Donphan has to lock down God, Sneasel, dash Hisui. It does have to do that. Alright, what Mew are we thinking here, though? Because Mew could be a lot of different things here. It could be like Enam resist, so like Poison or Steel. I think Steel makes a lot of sense here. You know, you resist the bundle, the Enamorous. You resist Slowking, generally speaking. It seems pretty reasonable. So if I had to guess a Mew Tera, it's probably going to be Steel. On the other side, the Enamorous is probably just going to be Fairy, right? Offensive like DD or something looks strong. Yeah, DD Mew always looks good. The main problem with DD Mew is, of course, like a booster Treads can like kind of shut that down if you're Steel type. Maybe a Scarf Enam if you're not Steel type. You know, stuff like that is a little bit, you know, scary for you. There are things to like revenge you, but boosting your attack does look pretty strong, of course. You know, base 100 is not that great. You're gonna need at least a boost to get through like Como, the G-King, stuff like that. Right. Let's go ahead and look at it. What is the... Okay, it's Poison Mew. So it is an anti-Enam, but it's not Steel. So... I don't know, Poison also good into the Sneasel dash Hisui. And you're not weakening yourself, right, into the Como. That's probably the main thing. Anyways, Iron Bundle is going to lead into Lapras. This is a good lead for Sage. Lead Lapras is something she likes to run a lot, I've found. And turn 1 freeze, shout out. Sparkling Arya gets the +1 from the Throat Spray. So Throat Spray lead Lapras, not the first time I've seen from Sage, probably not going to be the last. So freezes the G-King immediately, and that's about as good a start as you could ever ask for, right? The Iron Valiant all of a sudden looks amazing. And now the Sneasel is going to come in and set up a T-Spike. So Swaggy Boy thinks he has time to just set up one, but this Lapras is going to live a low kick from full. Takes out both poison types. Okay. So Enam is now completely wide open to take over this game. Should have just Terra'd. Oh, is it Terra Lapras as well? What was the type on this Lapras? Oh, it was Ghost? Oh, he would have been cooked. He would have been so cooked. Unlucky. Anyways, get that big chip off on that Iron Bundle. Respect it. Now Thundurus comes in. Is this Scarf Thundurus? No, it's Terra Steel. So we have 3 Terra users, right? That makes sense. Yeah, Terra Steel. I didn't even think about that. I was just looking at Mew and I was that has to be the Terramon. Okay, Steel Thundurus. That makes sense. And Sunny Day. So you resist the ice moves and you like pseudo resist the water moves because of the Sunny Day, and it sets up the sun for your Gouging Fire. This is so fun. All right, Como is gonna come in on a Weather Ball. Right, you also threaten the Treads with a Weather Ball. That's such a cool tech. Herm 1, please. Okay, Betty. Oh, we're gonna miss T-Wave. That's unfortunate. And okay, lives on 1. So potentially another opportunity. Gets that pair off on the Como. Outspeeds the Vacuum Wave, thanks to Prankster. Now Donphan's gonna come in and just spin away these T-Spikes. Makes sense. That does so much damage. But yeah, it is faster thanks to the para, so able to get up rocks here. And Donphan, I think, usually gets about 2 turns per game. In this game, it's going to be spin and rocks. So shout out to utility. Yeah. Anyways, Mew's going to come in, drain punches into the Iron Bundle. Is that like Assault Vest? 34 is not a lot, but also Freeze Dry is a weak move. I don't know. Anyways, Earth Power the Enamorous into the Gouging Fire. So this is a trade of the big threats, right? So Gouging Fire probably more than happy to take that trade, considering no Fairy resist. Was it Terra Fairy? It was Terra Electric. Why would you be Terra Electric here? I guess for the Prankster T-Wave, but just boost your Moonblast, bro. Is there like a Steel type on the bench that I'm worried about? I don't know. Probably, right? Swaggy Boy smoked me in GG top 16. He's raw. You don't understand the electric either. It's really just for the T-Wave, right? I don't get it either. I think you just lock Fairy into this draft. Unless there's something on the bench that I'm missing. But imagine a Terra Fairy there. Like, it would have just killed. Like Loki with Moonblast. Maybe it wouldn't have killed. Earth Power is strong. You had gold. That makes a little bit more sense, right? Why did we bench Goldango into Enamorous Slowking? That's crazy. Anyways, Treads is going to take out this Gouging Fire. No booster. Don't ask? Alright. I didn't ask. Wow, that's a very bulky Como or a very weak Mew. Gets the full para. Unlucky. How else do we fit lead Lapras? That's so true. Psyching out Swaggy Boy. Me when I draft Goldango just for the aura on the bench. Just force prep. Leave it behind for Lapras the GOAT. Really good CC on the Iron Tread switch. You know, that was Choppleberry. So good catch there. And then CC's again. Como is going to switch in. And now you're -2, so the Vacuum Wave is going to do some damage, but yeah, not a lot. Not anything you're really too worried about. And Life Orb Valiant once again doing a big amount of damage. You have to assume Vacuum Wave here, as you do see a Vacuum Wave. And that's going to be the game, right? Tread's just going to go down to a CC. And that prediction on the Choppleberry switch-in, that just completely won the game there. This endgame just completely wrapped up by Valiant. So this is a best of 3. So Sage goes up 1-0 against Swaggy Boy 006. Now let's look at game 2, right? We see a Zarude, my GOAT. Mew had Vacuum Wave too, so it won at that point. Okay, yeah. So multiple things won. Yeah. Goldango could never Vacuum Wave. Alright, so these teams, right? So this is the Tusk team where you ran out of good Pokemon, so you have to get a Terra Ogerpon rather than getting a Terra Tusk. I get it. Unfortunate, but what can you do? So this is the team. When we went over like the drafts, I saw a lot of cool synergies on this team, right? The Chili into, you know, Blizzard bundle, something like that, or Aurora Veil. These are some options. You got that Weather Ball Thunderous in the hail, or the snow, I guess. So some cool things with the G-King. And then outside of that, you know, what else are the big threats here, specifically in this matchup? There's a Primarina, right? So Primarina is going to kind of low-key stop the bundle. It's weak to Freeze Dry, but I don't think it's like really weak to Freeze Dry, you know? The natural Spadef is going to be enough to avoid a 2-hit KO, I'd assume. Maybe I'm wrong, but surely with AV at least, you can take 2. Outside of that, there's nothing really for the bundle, so might just have to be something like that. Sicko Mode Mo Bomba. Someone translate that for me, I'm too old. Oh, should you get up a single hazard? Yeah, kind of, but there's no spin block for the Tread spin, so it's not too crazy to just get rid of the spikes. Anyways, what else here? The ground resist is only Zarude and Hawlucha. That's probably fine though, into a Tusk. You might even see a balloon on the Pecharunt. That would be reasonable into the Tusk. What else here? Again, no Steel type from Sage. Right, the Steel type is G-King, or it's on the bench. Are we going to be punished by that? The DOS does look pretty strong now. Like, there's no resist to Psycho Boost. This is scary, right? Maybe G-King is a resist, low-key, but I don't know if that's the most reliable thing ever. Your bench steal was a Lola Sandslash? Yeah. So Deoxys is probably going to be the biggest threat on the builder. So what's the prep for Deoxys, right? Maybe a Colbur Berry on Slowking to take that Life Orb knockoff Psycho Boost combo, something like that maybe. What else could you possibly do? Revenge it with Ogerpon? Like, I don't know. Maybe just pick one and play offensively. See, Zarude. What's the Zarude counterplay? Surely Sage loses this, right? This matchup is kind of ass, right? Am I just... If it's just me? Like, what do you do versus Deoxys Zarude? It just seems so impossible to prep for. Maybe you just, like... when it sets up, you have to go hard into your Encore guy. I don't know. It seems very, very tricky, but Sage is a good player. Maybe she'll figure something out. Let's look at the Terras, right? So obviously Terra Grass, Ogerpon. Can you afford Thundurus plus Ogerpon Terra? I don't think you can. So it's probably just going to be this Diancie. Why did I say it like that? Diancie. Okay, Diancie is cut off on my screen, well, for the stream, but it is Dark type. And then on Swaggy Boy's side, it is Terra Ghost Zarude and Terra Stellar on the Hawlucha. Interesting. So Sage to win Draft League Circuit? Maybe. Alright, so leads bundle into Pecharunt. This is probably fine. For the bundle, you could just stay in. Hydro Pumps for the Prim, 20%. So is going to force this out into G-King. Flip turn for momentum, but eject button. So no momentum to be had. And I see a lot of people self-goob with eject buttons, but I think this is the way to use it, right? Early game, get your momentum early on a regen Pokemon. So you basically lose nothing, and you get a free turn out of it. A lot of people, they'll like put eject button on some random Pokemon, and then they'll just save it for the end game, and then they have to check something, but then they just get attacked and forced out, and then you lose the game. You know the vibes, right? Anyways, U-turns on the Pecharunt, Rocky Helmet revealed. Now Freeze Dry this time, predicting the Primarina to come in again, but even then, 55% on Pecharunt, you take that. Now Deoxys in, this is scary, but it's not even Psycho Boost, like bro. Can we please bring good Deoxys sets? Like, oh my god. You see this team and you're like, yes, I want to be Hazard lead Deoxys with Psyshock. Give me a break, man. Okay, so DNC is going to Terra Dark. This is going to be the long-term Deoxys answer, I guess. Bro. Missed opportunity by that Deoxys, I gotta say. Tusk's gonna switch on the Earth Power. That's gonna be like especially defensive or Assault Vest from that damage. Rapid Spins on the Hawlucha. Do we see a Mirror Herb? We do not. So Zen Headbutt's gonna come out and just knock it out. Good job, Hawlucha. Have a good rest. Now Deoxys is gonna outspeed this Tusk. And we set up rocks. We don't even... Oh. Fumbled. Oh no. So Terra Ghost Zarude as a headlong rush comes out predicting the Terra and misses Power Whip, and that's tough, but this was already kind of rough, right? See, even if you hit that, right, doesn't Bundle just kind of like smoke from this position? I think this was lost either way. Yeah, but now there's no headlong answer, right? Bam! 80%. Just freaking dies. Is this like... I don't even know what set this Tusk is. Like, versus Primarina, I'm thinking it has to be like a damage boosting item. Oh, we actually use every single headlong rush there. Or like 7 of them. Soft Sand, Shirley. You had room service? For what? Trick Room G-King, Chilly Reception into Tusk? That is insane. That is so crazy. Okay, so you're just the GOAT here. Did Trick Room Tusk not look insane here? I mean, Tusk in general just looks good, right? Oh, that's crazy. Very cool, honestly. But either way, like, Spin is the same thing. You outspeed everything. Headlong Rush just kills everything. Yeah, if the Power Whip did connect, right, then you have Zarude at 41. Probably what would happen after that? Maybe Ogerpon gets a free hit. You get a knockoff, maybe? Maybe that would KO Zarude at 41. 2-hit KOs the Pecharunt. I'm not going to Oko. But maybe something like that. Specs Bundle. Oh, Specs Bundle with Freeze Dry, yeah. So Specs Bundle only does 55 to Pecharunt. That Pecharunt guy might be the truth. Low-key. But yeah, Bundle is like a massive threat in this end game. Ogerpon's a massive threat. Everything's just winning. So I think even if you hit that, it's over. So Sage takes that 2-0, moves on to the semifinals. And now we have PCZ versus Hiker Toad. So second series here. So PZZ, obviously one of the more winningest players in the SV generation. He's won a lot of things. The seasonal, 2 team tours, yeah, kind of the GOAT. But then Hikertoad on the other side has a very tested, team. This team, he's won 3 team tours, but 2 in this gen, right? Like in the last year. I'm sure he won something earlier as well. I'm just talking like this past year or so. He's won 2 at least. Anyways, this team from Hiker is basically just copied. Oh, he won DCL 1, right? But yeah, he's just been winning everything. So PZZ really coming into his own recently. Marshy gameplay review next stream. I don't know. I don't know about that. Anyways, this team Hiker's using is just a carbon copy of a DCL team that the Band Chasers were using to some pretty good success. It's just a Sun team, right, with some really big threats like Roaring Moon, the Iron Moth. These are just, big stat Pokemon. When you boost them up with the Sun, they become really unstoppable. But on the other side, you have some stuff to take advantage of the Sun. It's not just a one-way thing. You have the Tusk Mirror, and you have a Roaring Moon of your own. So, really, the Sun is not too big of a deal for PZZ. He might even prefer the Sun being up. Team is Hypnosis Fodder. Burger, that is not how you spell fodder. Look it up, then come back. Anyways. We see another Lapras. That's the GOAT. Yeah, it is fodder. Oh no. Oh no, he's exposed. He's been exposed on the internet. Could have looking ass. Anyways, we see another Pecharunt. We see Great Tusk, so a lot of like natural physical defense on this team. We see a Terrapagos. I love Terrapagos. It's so freaking good. Okay, dude. Anyways, so there's no like normal resist, right? So Terrapagos looks good. Isn't there like a Bronzong on this team that's benched? There's gotta be, right? I'm pretty sure there's a Bronzong on the bench here, if it's the team I'm thinking of. But yeah, so no Bronzong means Terrapagos is looking really good. The only thing stopping it really is that, Chlorophyll, Lilligant with CC, something like that. Or maybe like just speed boosting Roaring Moon to take advantage of that. Although if you're Agility, or like Rock Polish actually. Talking about the Mons, first thing I noticed is the player diff. No. These are 2 GOATs. They're top 8 in the world right now. I don't know if you're aware. I don't know. They're both very good. Anyways, and then on PZZ's side, any other threats to speak of? Like maybe Jirachi with Meteor Beam can like catch the Iron Moth switching in, but like probably not. Maybe the Zapdos, it can take advantage of that. You must not be in the know. Yeah, these are actually just the 2 best players ever. So, shout out to that. So maybe Meteor Beam Jirachi can do something here. Like, the main steel resists, right, are all weak to rock. So maybe it's something like that. Maybe you pack a Shadow Ball for the Zong in the back. Seems like a reasonable set, maybe early game. So we're just pretending that Dougal doesn't exist? Yeah. Burger. Let it go. Let it go. You've been exposed. I get it. Anyways, the Tusk matchups. Okay, there's a Zapdos on one side, but on the other side, there's like no ground resist. So I have to give the edge to Hikertoad's Great Tusk in the 1v1. Burger went farter. Yeah, we actually out here farting for real. Anyways, big threats on Hiker's side. Definitely the Moon is going to be an issue for PZZ, and maybe the Moth, right? If Moth can get in with the Sun up, all of a sudden it's threatening like 2-hit KOs on the Roaring Moon and stuff like that. With just like fire moves, you don't even have to predict anything. If it has Dazzling Gleam, then that thing's just cooked. You terrastulated? Oh, is this math class? Oh, man. Quick Burger, what's 2 plus 2? Don't look it up. Anyways, let's look at the Terra types that were actually brought. So Fairy on the Moth. This is really good, right? Because the main fire resist is going to be the Roaring Moon. So if you can just flip that matchup, that's really, really strong. And then on the other side, there's a Terra Tusk, my beloved. And I assume a Terra Petrarunt, given that the other ones are stellar. This guy cannot spell to save his life for... Okay, man. Then on the other... Yeah. Terra Ghost on the Lilligant. What's that for? It's for the Terrapagos. And I guess Great Tusk CC, something like that. Anyways, another lead Lapras. Just the best lead ever, I guess. DD's up immediately in the face of Great Tusk is just insane. 2, 3. 3 hits. Okay, so Lapras gets some good chip on the Great Tusk. Honestly, King 05 is ill. A little bit. Nothing major. So CC is going to knock this out. If we got 5 hits, that would have been Great Tusk dead. But even just this chip is good because there's no ground resist, right? So chipping the Tusk is just insane value. Jirachi comes in. Ninetales going to switch in on rocks. But now what? A Weather Ball comes out. It's Occa Berry, so you can stay in. 27% and a T-Wave comes out. Interesting. So Psyshock, you're gonna do some good damage to Ninetales as a burn comes out. Interesting. Maybe predicting the Roaring Moon to want to come in. Something like that. Yeah, Psyshock, you're gonna do very laughable damage to the Zapdos. And now a Healing Wish is gonna go in the air. So it's gonna stay in the air for a while, right? Everything's at full. Anyways, Great Tusk burns its booster speed. Or no, it's just in the sun, right? Ooh, Tailwind. So this Tusk, all of a sudden, pretty contained, right? Everything's going to be faster than it, but we're just going to keep bulking up in front of the Zapdos, I guess. U-turn and now into Moth, but Moth is going to be faster now. Threatens an Oko on this, especially with Work Drive booster special attack. Damn! Oh my god! You saw that? 98%. Holy. God damn. Hey, lived though. He lived though. Stalls out that last turn of Tailwind. And now Terrapagos has to come in. Oh god. Hiker's looking like a massive driver's seat position. Now Terra Starstorm comes out, but it's gonna live. Oh, misses the Fire Blast. That's unlucky. It would have killed this Terrapagos. And a Rock Polish in response. And now Ninetales is going to come in as a sack. Just gets up that last set of Sun. And now Lilligant's going to come in. It's going to have the Chlorophyll and the Terra Ghost. So yeah, Solar Blade is just going to knock this out with Life Orb boost. And now Petrarunt is going to be able to come in on this. Maybe Terra Blast Ghost could be a threat, but if it's just dual stab, then it's going to get walled. Yeah, Roaring Moon is going to come in. And now what? Do we see Colbur Berry? We do see Colbur Berry. Okay, that's a lot of damage still. But we get the Toxic on the Malignant Chain and the Confusion. Hiker doesn't want to risk it at this point. Allows the Recover. Now Zapdos is going to come in. It's also going to get poisoned by Malignant Chain and Confused. And it hits itself. Okay. PCZ back in this game. Petrarunt just soloing 2 Pokemon. Low-key. Low-key. Now Great Tusk does come in. Is this Petrarunt faster? It's not faster, but it lives a Headlong Rush from Booster Attack Tusk. That is insane. Okay, and now it's Terra Electric Tusk versus the world. There is a Healing Wish in the air, so this is going to be 100% Great Tusk, but unfortunately there's no way to maneuver it into the Petrarunt here. So just going to sack it to the Outrage, and now this Healing Wish is finally going to get used up. Boom. Huge value. Massive value from that Healing Wish. You saw that? God damn. Anyways. So Roaring Moon is going to be weak. And the booster saved till the end. And going to play rough into this Great Tusk. And now Lilligant's going to come in. And it's just going to get 2-hit KO'd by this Terra Blast Electric. Pretty cool, right? PZZ really brought that back with the Petronet. Kind of got the goop nut off. It's wild to me. People be clicking H-Wish when the H-Wish mod is at 70%. Well, he kind of just wants to get his offense going, right? You don't want to waste turns. He just wasn't able to maneuver like the Healing Wish into like an actual, you know, reasonable thing. But it's basically just a free turn for his offense to come in, right? Oh my, if it isn't my second favorite streamer, who's your favorite? Is it Ochi Albina? If it is, I can forgive that. Like, I do be streaming. On God. Your favorite is Ochi Albina? Jimothy Cool? Yeah, silly guy. Ochi Albina with the humbleness. Love to see it. Oh my God, now Hiker has a fortress, so I must root against him. Giving up a mon like that so early can backfire easily. You don't get all the H-Wish glaze this gen. Well, it's... If we look at this, like, what is Jirachi reasonably doing? Right? It's mono Psyshock. We saw the Psyshock did 20% to Zapdos. I mean, it got its rocks up, it's got its T-Wave off, and it's not doing anything else for the rest of the game, right? So it may as well just get out of there and get, like, get that turn into the Great Tusk. We saw earlier, right? The situation is Healing Wish in front of Zapdos, right? Now, Zapdos is something you can set up on with your Great Tusk. So he wants to get that matchup earlier rather than later. So he blocks the U-turn to allow this, like, if he didn't Healing Wish, you're never getting this position early game. So that's what he really wanted to do. It's just unfortunate that the Tailwind had to come out, right? Because if there was no Tailwind, there's really nothing to revenge this Tusk. It just wins. So, you know, like, given the situation, it's perfectly reasonable, no? People overhype the move. I really like Healing Wish this gen, just because, like, specifically the Pokemon that are good into your opponent, they tend to be really good. So potentially having like 2 Great Tusks here, like you see Great Tusk just kind of smashes this. You're able to, like, you know, kind of trade HP into its like better checks, and then bring it back later. It seems to be pretty strong, right? You see Healing Wish paired a lot with stuff like Gouging Fire, stuff like that. It just naturally trades HP with its checks and tends to make it out on the other side low HP. Stuff like that, Healing Wish makes a lot of sense. I think you don't necessarily need it on every team, it's not a necessity, but it's definitely a good tool to have, and Jirachi is like, that's one of the main reasons you draft it in this gen. It's just one of the best Healing Wish users. Anyways. You can't afford to jork it with your weak baby Wawa Healing Wish Pokemon. Yeah, really could not say it any better. Anyways, this game 2, we see a Palafin. This is like the cursed PZZ draft, right? Super cursed to look at. Anyways, he's playing against a Fortress, so it's just free, right? Fortress is ass. I will die on this hill. So Hiker's team, let's see. There's like 2 Pokemon that do nothing. There's Aloe and the Fortress, which is a little bit tough, right? Especially into wall breakers like the Hoopa, the Mamoswine. Yeah. Shout out to those 2, right? You're giving them low-key free entries, right? I could see an eject button into Hoopa. That could be pretty reasonable, right? Because you block the flip turn with like a G-King eject button. You get your Hoopa in for a big hit. Pretty reasonable, right? If you're able to pressure that Aloe, then all of a sudden Mamoswine looks good as well, because there's no ground resist really. It's just the Alomomola. Is Terra Hoopa broken? Low-key, it's pretty good. I think every time I've seen Terra Hoopa, it's looked really strong. It's just like kind of hard to fit on teams, you know? And this is like Dark Spam. This is something PZ has used in the past. There's like 2 really strong dark types between Gren and Hoopa. There's also 2 water types, right? So a very interesting draft. Really offensive. And just like G-King to hold it all together. Makes sense. And then on the other side we have Raging Bolt with some fast guys, you know, Greninja, Iron Moth, then some fat garbage, right? Alomomola and Fortress, Conkeldurr. Conch Elder isn't right like garbage, and I think Aloe does have some merit this gen, but Fortress, irredeemable. That guy's ass. So I have to root against Hiker because he has a Fortress. That's the worst Pokemon ever. Right. Let's look at the Terra types. We see Electric on the Gren, we see Fairy Hoopa, we see Dragon on the Bolt, and then Dark on the Conkeldurr. I think Terra Conch is underplayed. I think it's overplayed. I see that all the time. It is really good, right? But yeah, that low QP guy, he just loves it so much. And like, they tend to force it. The Chrome Cabal, I saw like a lot of Terra Conkeldurr. And not a lot that really merited it. Anyways, Palafin's going to lead off, get that form off early, it makes sense. Fortress going to take advantage of that turn by setting a Spike, I assume. That Spike does go up, but now Zapdos is going to force it out into Alomomola, famous as a Zapdos answer. It's going to be AV, right? Yeah, Volt Switch for 38, probably going to be AV there. Goes to Hoopa, trying to block a Mirror Coat, makes sense, but a Flip Turn is going to happen. Now, Gren. So forces out the Hoopa, as Zapdos is going to switch in. Now a Hurricane, you don't really want to Volt Switch. You get the Static Perish or Eject button on the Zapdos, interesting. Not the way I assumed it to work. But now a T-Spike's going to go up, forces the Iron Moth position, but you can't go Iron Moth in front of a G-King like that. So Chilly Reception is going to come out into the Zapdos. Now what? Okay, just Volt Switch, sure. Citrus Berry Fortress, okay. Now Hoopa's going to come in on the Fortress. Rapid Spin, okay. But now Hoopa is in a position to click a button. Conkeldurr is going to be the switch into Hoopa. Okay, Drain Punch. It is Terra Dark. So maybe threatening the Terra Dark to live the Psychic move. Greninja's going to double in as PZZ Drain Punches on the switch and just kills the Gren off rip. Chat. Is Hikertoad throwing the game? Obviously, he expected the Psychic move, but just being Terra Dark means, like, if the Conch is going to stay in, it's probably going to Terra Dark anyways, right? So PZZ knows that. If the Conch is staying in, it's probably Terraing. So you may as well just Drain Punch anyways. Because stay in without Terra just doesn't make sense. Like, think of it from Hiker's perspective. The fact that Conch is Terra was bad for him there. Low-key. Low-key, it was just bad. He'd prefer not to be Terra, right? He would have lived the Drain, yeah. But the Drain recovery probably means that Hoopa's gonna live one back. Like, low-key. It might live one. I don't know, it depends on the spreads. But anyways, Drain punches the Gren. Goes Fortress, freaking dies. I love Fortress, it's so good. Now, Aloe's going to come in, get knocked off, removes the AV, so Hoopa just got an insane nut off. And now, Psychic Noise, sure. Dude, it clicked all 4 moves here. Could be like Choice Hoopa too from that spot, we don't even know. It could be Scarf, but maybe unlikely. Imagine Psychic Noise block the region. It totally should, but it doesn't. I'm so upset about that. Anyways, we see, let's see, Zapdos comes in on Conkeldurr, Drain Punch. Do we see Static? We do not see Static, so a free Hurricane here. Raging Bolt's going to come in, take 25, get confused. And now what? We just see a Volt Switch. It's either Fast Bolt or Scarf. Something like that. It's just going to knock out the Zapdos with Terra Draco Meteor. But now Mamoswine's going to pick one up, right? No ground resist to speak of. Now Iron Moth is going to come in, but this is thick fat. So it lives the Fire Blast and KOs the Iron Moth. Mamoswine in 2024, check it off your bingo cards. Conkeldurr is going to come in, threaten the Mach Punch. Goes for the Mach Punch, but G-King is going to switch in on that. Lives the knockoff. And now what? Psyshock. Right, good chip. And now it's in range of Ice Shard from Mamoswine, right? Also in range of Jet Punch, anything like that. Not even go for the Jet Punch, go for CC. Pretty free, right? Then Raging Bull, I think it's probably Scarf, right? So it's going to KO with this Palafin, but now that you're -2, you need like 3 crits in a row. Not going to happen. I guess 2 crits because Mamoswine's so low. But no, it's Terra Fairy Hoopa. He's got everything covered. And that's going to be the game. So PZZ takes this set over Hiker Toad, advancing to the semifinals. Yippee! Alright, let's move on. So now we have Boas versus J Scurf. Now, we see a Sandaconda. This is the first time I've ever seen a Sandaconda in like a Showdown League, you know? People on Wi-Fi love this thing, but on Showdown, you never see it. So shout out to Sandaconda. What does Sandaconda do here? My Sandaconda don't want none. Yep. This is the first time I've seen Rillaboom. That's literally not true. Literally not true. But anyways. What is this team? Let's see. This is a Terra Annihilate, right? Versus Terra Bolt, you have to assume. Let's see, what are the threats here? We have Sneasler, we have Raging Bolt, we have Terrap. We have a lot of threats, honestly. Terra Annihilate smokes. Terra Ghost is free. I mean, yeah, Ghost looks really good into every single Pokemon, right? It's pretty natural into the Sneasler plus Terrap combo to just go Terra Ghost. Yeah, boost up your Rage Fist. You could go Terra Blast if you want to avoid like helmets and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty reasonable. You could also be like a defensive Terra. What would that be? It would just be Ghost still. Like, this team doesn't beat Ghost. That's something like you definitely want to draft around when you have like Terrapagos Sneasler. You want something to punish Terra Ghost, right? So what would that even be? None of these Pokemon beat Terra Ghost. So anyways, yeah, I think J-Scurf probably has that matchup just based on Annihilate alone. I think it looks like God. And then what? Darkrai also looks really good, right? Dark Pulse plus Psychic coverage just kills everything. Yo, J-Scurf should wheelchair this one, in theory. Let's see if he does. What are the Terra types? It is Terra Ghost Annihilate, and it's going to be Terra Water on the Raging Bolt, looks like. And it's Terra Poison on the Moltres, but I don't assume that will be clicked. So Raging Bolt leads off into Glimmora. We see a Photosynthesis special attack. Terra Water's turn 1. And it's Sash Glimmora. So we're going to get 2 Hazards up or an Attacka. So we get a Energy Ball off on the Raging Bolt. Good chip. Sandaconda punishes Terra Ghost. It clicks Glare. Taunt is not a real move. This is so correct. Anyways, Annihilate is going to come in. Hold up. That's a big hit to take on your Annihilate. Is that Assault Vest? It looks Assault Vest from here. From where I'm standing, that looks like Assault Vest Annihilate. Okay, interesting enough. So Assault Vest plus Healing Wish, that's got to be the play, right? So Leech Seeds into the Moltres, I guess, sure. Whatever. We see a U-turn predicting the switch. Boas makes an insane read, stays in to sub. So we see sub Seed Protect Rillaboom. This is new. Average SV Rillaboom gameplay. Bro. That is a crazy calc, yeah. 44 from Booster Bolt crit. Yeah, AV out the ass, as they say. Moltres is going to kind of put this Rillaboom in jail, though. Like, you're never getting permanent progress on this. So yeah, eventually you're forced to switch. You see a U-turn here? A U-turn would go crazy. Now we see a Roost. Now we see a U-turn, breaks the shell. And now what? We see Treads come in on the Toxic. Lord plays. Now high horsepower. Funny move. Takes the Earth Power. Gonna do a lot of damage to this Terrapagos. I think that's probably a fine trade for J-Scurf, right? This Iron Treads was not looking too threatening. But the Terrapagos, you know, weakening it in range of Drain Punch. Now this AV Annihilate gets some more recovery. This is good. Now Rillaboom comes in, but you have that Moltres the whole time. Or you can just Terra Ghost in front of it and Rage Fist. Yeah, you're boosted up at this point. And you are faster based on the terrain recovery turns. Oh, it just barely lives. And Drum Beating is going to lower the speed. Okay, sure. I get it. No Grassy Glide. Interesting. So Moltres is going to come in here on the next Drum Beating. Imagine not leech seeding there. That's kind of insane. Anyways, now what? We leech seed as flamethrower just kills you? Cool. But now as soon as this healing wish goes off, the game's just over, right? We see a roar. We see a U-turn. Latios comes in. You're just gonna healing wish, right? You gotta. Yeah, healing wish. Don't mess around. Just go annihilate. And yeah, this is gonna eat comfortably. So little damage. Yeah, Rage Fist. And then, yeah, this is just cooked. This is plus 1 million Rage Fist at this point. Goes for Rock Slide, flinches. Not going to be the case. Yeah, Sandaconda never even hits the field. So we can continue saying we've never seen Sandaconda on Showdown. Yeah, this Annihilate just insane. Rock Slide was the choice of Hacks button. Must be no Dire Claw. Well, for Dire Claw to really work, you need to either para full para or you need to sleep, which I think is lower odds than just flinching it, right? He got annihilated. Oh my god. But I think Rock Slide is technically correct, but like either way you're cooked, right? Anyways, next one. Oh, beautiful team. Love the look of that. And anyways, J Scurf. Let's switch the sides for continuity. I should probably do that, right? So this team here, Iron Valiant, Iron Boulder, very, very cool looking team. I don't think the Sinistra can beat Terra with the Iron Boulder. Can it be? It might be able to. Do the points work there? It's 11 points and 17 out of 28. Yeah, so it works. So it is going to be Terra Sinistra here, plus Terra Boulder. And then on the other side, there's this like whack-ass team. Yeah, Tentacruel, everything wrong with society. You know the drill at this point. And then a Slitherwing. These are just some weird Pokemon, right? I think the Aura definitely goes to Boas here. Terra Boulder Goop for sure. What Terra would the Boulder be here? Do you outspeed Meowscarada naturally? You do with the booster speed. Even Scarf can't outspeed you. So maybe you just run Terra Ground, right? And then after an SD, you kind of just kill everything, no? So Ground makes sense. What else could you be? I think Ground just makes the most sense to me. Then Sinistra, you could look at like Terra Fairy, probably. Something like that. Just like take on the Bolt a little bit better, take on the Meowscarada pretty well. Even the Slitherwing, right? Pretty good into that as well. You can just rock with EQ, like Terra Rock. Could be interesting to have like that nuke button. But anyways. The Iron Valiant does not look too great here, unfortunately. There's a Tentacruel and a Tinkaton. One or the other you can handle, but both? That's a little bit rough. You're gonna say something the liberals don't want you to say. Merry Christmas? Yo, Merry Christmas to everyone as well. Yep. Those goddamn liberals. Taking away Christmas. I can't believe they've done that. Tentacruel has Aura, he said. Disagree. Sadly. Maybe Terra Electric Boulder for T-Wave plus Thunderclap resist? You could do that, right? But who's really T-Waving you? I guess like the tank? You set up on the tank easier? Seems somewhat reasonable. I could see Electric, yeah. I think Ground probably is a little bit better, but yeah, to each their own. You could make arguments. Let's see, Spikes, right? Samurott dash Hisui. Do we just set up Spikes here? And then spin block the Tentacruel with our Sinistra? We could do that. Could be a game plan. Some Spikes would go a long way with the Iron Boulder, right? Because I assume +2 is going to do like 80 to 90% to a few Pokemon. So if you can get those Spikes up, maybe that pushes it over the line. T-Spikes Tenta could be dangerous. Yeah, it could be. Maybe you see some Boots, right? Boots Sinistra. Maybe Boots Val even. Something like that. Then all of a sudden T-Spikes don't look too bad. Anyways, the Meowscarada is a pretty big threat. Not a lot wants to come in on a knockoff. You're going to assume Vacuum Wave on the Valiant. That's like pretty standard into the Meowscarada. So there's going to have that option for it. But yeah, does look like a threat. Knockoff, Flip Turn, Sludge Bomb, Rapid Spin, Tentacruel could be dangerous. No, that looks really handled. How does Sinistcha even wear boots? You see these little like nubs at the bottom? They just go on that. Anyways, that's enough analysis for me. We see Terra Water on the Raging Bolt, and on the other side, I guess we see Terra Flying on the Slitherwing, and then on the other side it is Terra Ground on that boulder, and it's cut off on the screen, but it is Terra Steel on the Sinistcha. So, yeah, pretty interesting. We did get the Terra Ground prediction correct. But now we see a Landorus lead into Landorus lead. This is why we cannot have kids. Yeah, U-turns for 20%. Good job. Samurott is going to come in. Is this Scarf? J-Scarf respects the Scarf either way. Goes for the Ceasel's Edge. Everything wrong with these guys know. They know ball. Anyways, gets that spike up. Rocky Helmet Slitherwing. What's that for? Physically defensive. Maybe beats Iron Boulder if it's not... Oh my god. If it's not Psychic coverage. Yeah, just Flare Blitzes the Scizor completely out of the game. Takes a lot of recoil though. So maybe that's a fine trade from the Scizor Loki. Valiant is going to come in with a booster speed. Tentacruel is going to come in on the Moonblast. Is Tentacruel finally going to do something? It forces out the Iron Valiant. And now Boulder comes in before T-Spikes. Do we see an SD here? We do see an SD. Is this game over? Protect on the first impression. Doesn't end up being first impression. But that means it's just going to be Mighty Cleave Earthquake coverage. So Raging Bolt is going to Terra Water out of this. So probably just Mighty Cleave here. Goes for an Earthquake. I guess it's the same base power, yeah. But yeah, it is going to go down. Maybe if we got just like a little bit of chip on this Raging Bolt, then Boulder would have just swept, but a little bit impatient with it perchance. I guess the T-Spike is up. That's annoying, right? You're not getting rid of that T-Spike. Earthquake is stronger. Is it like 95 versus 100? It's about the same, though. Yeah, okay. Anyways. Okay. What is going on my screen here? So U-turns to KO the Raging Bolt. Now Valiant comes in. And now what? Tentacruel comes in. Iron Valiant goes for Destiny Bond, trying to bait like a Sludge Wave. Gets spun on. And then Surf crits and kills the Tentacruel. Okay, sure. Sure, man. Okay, Landorus comes in on Meowscarada. It is Scarf and KOs the Meowscarada. PogChamp. Now Samurott comes in. Landorus. Is this Scarf? It's Aqua Jet, so that's some good chip. U-turns on the Samurott. Now Tinkaton's gonna come in. This is a spicy endgame. Is it Boots Sinistcha? Boots Sinistcha would go crazy here. Gets the Earthquake turn correct. Gigaton hammers for 30%. Now do we switch on the Landorus? We Earthquake into the Landorus. Okay. So Psychic is going to be pretty free here. It's Scarf Landorus. Yeah, outspent the other Scarf Landorus. Do you Calm Mind here? You have Scald. Do you beat the Tinkaton 1v1? That's the question. Because it can pack Encore. It does have Encore. Do you get the burn? Crit? Burn? Okay. How much does Gigaton do? Oh, it kills after the poison? But another crit! that is insane. I gotta see the chat here. LOL, LMAO, wins from hacks, ZZZ. I mean, that crit didn't it totally mattered. What? Oh, would it die from the burn? Would it? So crit did 28. So a non-crit did 19 from the same roll. 19, so yeah, I would have died to burn. Yeah, true. Okay, I've been corrected. Brain dead. Oh no, please don't be brain dead. The crit burn, so unlucky. Anyways, so now we're going on to a game 3, right? Yeah, so it's 1-1. And now what? There's a Muck. We're bringing Muck to the tiebreak game versus Deoxys Zarude. Zarude, it's over. Yeah. Alright, does Zarude just pack this one up? Thoughts? What's your Terra? Would you just be Terra Grass into this? Low key? I think he would just be Terra Grass. The only thing you're worried about is the Abomasnow. Maybe you could be Terra Dark. That would work as well. Just one of the stab Terras. Depends on what set you want to go. Ogerpon looks so good here. Yeah, versus Ogerpon, you usually want to be a resist to Ivy Cudgel at least on your Terra Pokemon. So that's why I'm thinking Grass on Zarude, but maybe you could do something else with it. The Encore is going to be annoying, right? But yeah, Jirachi for the Deoxys is pretty reasonable. Cinderace is looking like a threat, low-key. Cinderace is a big threat. Muck wins? I don't think Muck wins. I think that's just wrong, you know? If it's Grass Zarude, then Muck actually does something. Yeah, maybe. But if it's anything else, then Muck does not do something. And even then, there's a Donphan, there's a Tinkaton. There's stuff that takes advantage of the Muck. Yeah, so Cinderace, big threat. Does Rotom Wash do anything? Low-key, not really, right? CC from Tusk is really free into this team. And that 2-hit KO's Rotom, I'm pretty sure. Outside of, like, Citrus Berry. So maybe Citrus Rotom? I don't know. Hold this Poison Touch, knock off Donphan. Okay. How many turns will Donphan get this game? Well, the average is 2, right? So we'll see. Is Boas able to get more or less than 2 turns out of Donphan? Let's find out. Okay, on the other side, what are the threats? It's just Ogerpon, right? Roaring Moon, I guess, with knockoff Earthquake can do something. The Tusk is, like, pretty reasonable, but maybe it's hard to click the right button into, like, Deoxys plus Rotom. Yeah, you can cover most things with those two, I guess. Lum Moon, I guess, for, yeah, T-Wave. I guess you wouldn't be T-Waving with Tinkaton, you'd be play roughing. But, like, Will-O-Wisp Rotom, yeah. Could be reasonable. You need to do your Christmas shopping still? Might wait for tomorrow? Low-key same. Low-key same. It's cool, though. Alright. So yeah, I'm really looking at that Ogerpon as the #1 threat, and on the other side it's probably going to be the Zarude. Maybe the Deoxys as the #1 threats. Maybe Cinderace, yeah, so like 3 big threats here versus only like 1 that I'm seeing is like insane. So matchup probably goes to Boas. We'll see if he's able to convert. Let's look at the Terra types on the preview. We see, of course, Terra Water on the Ogerpon, and then Terra Bug on the Zarude. That's new. So Terra Bug, what does that imply? It absolutely annihilates the Great Tusk in the mirror. It's not weak to anything in particular. Seems reasonable. With Terra Buggin. So Deoxys leads into Great Tusk. This is obviously a good lead for the Boas. Goes for a Taunt and Spikes. It's just Spikes lead Deoxys. So yeah, Rocky Helmet. It's just a defensive piece, deciding not to go for like an offensive set. It's just going to be Scarf Roaring Moon, looks like, and just knocks out the Deoxys, limiting it to 1 spike. But now Zarude is going to come in, gets his bulk up opportunity, SD opportunity. Yeah, setup in general. Now Terra's Bug goes for a knockoff, is going to 2-hit KO this Muck, but Acid Armor. So Swords Dances again on the Pain Split, obvious Pain Split. Now what? Knockoff is going to 2-hit KO from here. Is this a roll? Loki is a roll? Oh, close. Really close. Now you SD again. Okay. Sludge Bomb crit? Poison? Lumberry? So much is happening here. It knocks out the Muck, but there's no Healing Wish to bring it back. So you're going to need to maneuver Zarude in on Great Tusk or something like that before rocks go up. Maybe into Jirachi you can recover as well. But yeah, a hazard goes up and the Zarude's dead. Tinkaton doubles out. Hold on, what was that? What was that turn? Okay, so Roaring Moon knocks off into Donphan. Gets helmeted. Okay, so we know this Roaring Moon is Scarf. You're threatening rocks here, but you don't want Great Tusk to come in and spin. But doubling Tinkaton doesn't do anything for that. What's the Tinkaton here? Why are we going Tinkaton? It covers nothing. Maybe you threaten T-Wave? Oh, it's Scarf Tinkaton. Interesting. Takes a crit Cudgel and misses Play Rough. Awesome. Love that. So now Cinderace comes in. If it's Choice Banded U-Turn... Oh, Trailblaze. That's going to KO the Ogerpon, yeah. Interesting, interesting. Now Great Tusk does come in. Trailblaze again for 30%. Okay. Close combats for 100. Okay, but now this is your recovery opportunity for Zarude. You wanted that to happen. Oh, it doesn't go for recovery. It doesn't have recovery. It's just offensive Zarude with Terra Blast. Okay. Still, almost KOs the Abomasnow. So, decent value out of a 2% Zarude. J-Scriff at 5 seconds. The timer is looming. So, Hydro Pump is going to pick one off. Healing Wishes into what? Into what? Into Roaring Moon. It is Scarf, though. And Donphan is going to be able to take a hit. Oh, Outrage is going to be strong. Will-O-Wisp, though. Do we see Pain Split on this Rotom? That could be the difference maker. A critical hit? Do we see Pain Split? We do see Pain Split. Okay. Rotom's at 53. Hits itself in fusion. No, 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 no. Don't do that. No, not like this. Okay, Volt switches into Donphan at this point. Okay. Do we have, like, what? Earthquake plus Ice Shard to KO the Tusk? We're gonna live one. Goes Rotom to bait a -1. Maybe Donphan has this packed up. Bailed out again? I think he's bailed out. Yeah, that's gonna be it. J-Scarf goes down. And no! That game 2 was tragic. Alright, what went wrong here? Surely the game was won if he Healing Wished Obama? Yeah. Can't even argue with that. Like here? Just go Jirachi. Just go Jirachi and Healing Wish. Oh, it was right there. But he had no timer. No timer to think. After the Pain Split, the Obama was already dead. But yeah, it was right there. He had that. He just didn't see the line in time. He let his timer get low. When was he thinking so hard? Oh, he spent 90 seconds on this turn here? That's tough. Yeah, his timer's like reasonable outside of that. He just spent so long just to like low-key sack Abomasnow. This was the turn. You're trying to cover for like Synthesis or something like that, which makes sense, right? But it took you your whole timer to think of this play. Yeah, that's a little bit rough. And then just sacking it, yeah, just Healing Wish the Abomasnow and it's just so free. Yeah, that's tough. Didn't see the line in time. Boas advances to the semifinals. So yeah, crazy series. That was an entertaining one at least. And there's a Servine on my screen, guys. Why is there a Servine on my screen? Servine jump scare. Yeah. Okay, so Gorex versus Meta. Let's see. About these players, right? Meta had like a really excellent World Cup performance last year, and then in DCL kind of like bombed out. Not a great performance from him. Gorex, let's see. I don't remember exactly how he did in DCL, but he had a good DPL earlier this year. I don't know if he played World Cup. I don't know. Premier low tier grass Servine. Yep. Ampharos jump scare. Okay, Ampharos is like a little bit more forgivable than Servine, okay? Because Ampharos at least checks Torn, right? Checks the Tinkaton. Even checks Palafin to some extent. So like it can do stuff here. It can also screens. Screens plus slow volt switch is something that people draft it for. Yeah, Servine's crazy. Alright, this matchup. What are we looking at here? So Tinkaton plus Ting Lu. This Darkrai is going to be low-key put in jail. Not really going to be able to do much without a lot of work ahead of time. Anything with static is forgivable. Yeah. But Servine is a top 2 Ogerpon check. Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen Ogerpon beat a Servine before. Which is insane, because how often do you actually see Servine? Servine glares the whole team. Okay, cool. Goes Bronzong. Powers up my Gyro Balls. Yippee. Whatever, man. Okay, but aesthetically, Gorix's team does look pretty nice, right? The colors just kind of work here. Whereas Meta's team is a little bit on the uglier side. Low-key, low-key. Darkrai Hypnosis Subprotect Dream Eater might win here. I think you might be on something. Not onto something, I think you're just on something. Baby Palafin with Servine looks so funny. Yeah, it does. So what's the plan here? What's the plan? I guess like a mixed Valiant could do something here. Right, Moonblast CC for the Tinkaton. No real resist to the dual stabs. And then outside of that, what's the other like threat here? I guess Ogerpon with U-turn could do something. Team is half legendary and half children. True. That's actually super funny. But what's the other threat on Meta's team? I don't see a whole lot that's threatening Gorix, so I think Gorix has to have the matchup here, right? Terraing Ogerpon makes that Palafin so deadly. Yeah. Maybe you have to like not Terra your Ogerpon, but even then, like Choice Banded CC is low-key a kill on Ogerpon. Yeah. Break the team with Ogerpon Lando and win with Booster Val with when Ting and Tink are chipped. You could go for that game plan. I don't know. I feel like Valiant Loki has to be the breaker though, because I don't think Ogerpon and Lando really get the job done. It's like Lando, sure, it'll weaken the Ting Lu, but you don't need Ting Lu weakened for your Valiant endgame. Like, it's not really going towards anything. I guess if your plan is a Darkrai sweep, then I guess weakening the Ting Lu is important, but there's still a Tinkaton right there. Like, there's like multiple checks to the threats. But I think Gorix probably has this one on first thought. Okay, what's the Terra types? Obviously water on the Ogerpon, grass on the Ampharos, grass on the Torn, and what else? Is there another Terra user here? I don't know. It's just gonna be Grass Torn though. So Grass Torn gonna be the Ogerpon answer. You know. And Tinkaton leads off into the Ogerpon. Do we see the Ogerpon Terra? We do not. We want to preserve that Water Absorb for the Palafin. Pops the Balloon, but it's Mold Breaker, so... ooh, Earth Power not clicked here. So Tinkaton just stays in for the Ice Hammer. Interesting play. Now spikes go up. Yeah, like a bulky spikes Ogerpon does look pretty strong here. Ivy Cudgel is a 2-hit KO, but you get parried. That's a big deal for the Palafin. Massive deal. And no synthesis, it seems. So all of a sudden, maybe this Palafin can start doing something. Torn is going to come in on the Earth Power. Really good. And now what? You just U-turn out? Hurricane. Okay, sure. Allows the rocks to go up, but in exchange, we're going to break the Colbur Berry with a Dark Pulse. Okay. Is this AV Torn? That'll be important for, like, letting the rocks go up. But here, able to 1v1 the Bronzong. Bronzong is horrible, by the way. Holy crap. Now, U-turns on the Darkrai. And now what? Palafin is going to get the form off. Interesting, but oh, it's Scarf Palafin. Baby CC knocks out the Darkrai. Okay, meta's just cooked in this game. It's over. Ampharos comes in. The Tinglu is going to be a free switch in on this. Meteor Beam, okay. Interesting. Do we see, like, does this thing even get Grass Knot? Goes for Terra Grass Dazzling Gleam for 28%. What a horrible Pokemon. Oh my god. Nah, Tinglu's just him. I get it. So able to 1v1 the Tinglu, but the Darkrai is already dead. What are we doing this for? There's nothing to take advantage of the fact that Tinglu is lured successfully by the Ampharos. Yeah, and you commit the Terra as well. Not that it even matters. Ogerpon's at 26 and Parad. Oh, Roselli Berry. So really nothing that meta can do. Can't even get a break. Moonblast not going to KO the Latios thanks to the Roselli Berry, and Luster Perch is going to knock it out in return. Now Landers comes in, probably going to be Scarf here, right? It is Scarf. U-turns, knocks out the Latios, but I think the damage has been done. At this point, yeah, Tinkaton can even come in. Just Ice Hammer is free, right? Yeah, I guess you Gigaton, same thing. But yeah, Jet Punch is going to be in the back. Misses the Rock Slide anyways, but yeah, this was a wrap. Shout out to Servine, really did a lot of carrying this matchup. But yeah, Gorex just had the matchup, played it well. Had that really great Scarf Palafin reveal into the Darkrai. You never expect that if you're Darkrai. And, you know, he got the lure. Got the also lure with the Roselli into the Iron Valiant. Makes sense, right? And yeah, pretty dominant showing by Gorex here. Let's look at game 2. That was insane, folks. Meta knew the most value Ogre was Spikes, forced him to sack it basically. Sure, yeah, we can say that. Good job, Servine, forcing prep. Anyways, this matchup, we see another Annihilate. Love to see it. And then on the other side, we see a Garchomp, a Darkrai, Goldango. This is a good trio, right? Offensively. What is ever checking Darkrai, Goldango, Garchomp? I guess Tinglu, huh? But outside of that, pretty strong trio. Yeah, Tinglu. But I don't see a Tinglu. Let's see. Darkrai looking pretty threatening, right? Dark Pulse Ice Beam just covers the whole roster. You could see Plot. Maybe he forces a Scarf Meowscarada, or like a Scarfer of some kind. Maybe a Scarf Annihilate. Something to check the Darkrai. I would assume Scarf Meowscarada though, because it also outspeeds +1 Chomp, which Annihilate would not be able to do. So yeah, I'm just going to pencil in Scarf Meowscarada. It just looks too nice as a revenge killer here to really pass up. Outside of that, what are we looking at here? Both Garchomps look really threatening. Look at that. Also +1 Quacker. Yeah. Yeah, I think just Scarf Meow is the obvious set for sure. Fast Terra Fairy Ape with Bulk Up could be good. So like outspeeding Goldango and stuff like that. I see the vision, yeah. Seems pretty reasonable, yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Is the Goldango going to be Scarf here? That's the question. I think it could be. Like, what do you need a defensive Goldango for here? Not much, but it could just be like Colberberry trying to lure the Meowscarada. That could be reasonable. It could just be there to check the Iron Crown, but it kind of does that naturally. You don't need an item slot or EVs to do that. Maybe you want like Recover versus like a Zapdos. You want to spin block the Blastoise. Maybe have Mirror Herb on that. That could also be some reasonable Goldango set. So Scarf is not like an insta-lock. So maybe, yeah, Terra Fairy on the Annihilate could do something. Definitely agree there. Let's see. What is Gorex gonna do? I think Thundurus could potentially do something if you are like Terra, because you can have Terra Blast for the Garchomp. But outside of that, What's the big threat here? It's just Darkrai, right? Darkrai Garchomp. You gotta win with one of those. I don't think anything else really has the legs to stand on. And like Scarf Meowscarada is gonna check both of them really comfortably. So maybe a little bit more challenging of a matchup for Gorex this time. Maybe I'm gonna give it to Meta. Yeah, the Meowscarada, excellent Revenge Killer. Annihilape looks good. Garchomp looks really good. Oh, I hope this isn't gonna be a Scarf Darkrai. Does he feel forced to be Scarf Darkrai here? Because it's gonna outspeed Meowscarada, and it's gonna outspeed +1 Chomp. But then you're losing out on the Nasty Plot angle. So maybe it is just gonna be Scarf Darkrai, which I don't love. Like maybe you have to be it though. I don't know. Let's look at the Terra types real quick. So we see Terra Electric on the Quaquaval. We see Terra Ice on the Thundurus, okay. And we see Terra Dark on the Iron Crown. And Terra Fairy on the Annihilape, so you were correct. What if you're Rocks, Chomp, or Dodun? Because I would like Calm Mind Dodun. I don't think Calm Mind Dodun really does much here. Because you're still always going to be checked by Annihilape, right? Like, you set up on Zapdos, I guess, but... yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the best play for Dudunsparce. I think Rocks Dudunsparce is probably going to be more likely, especially since offensive Chomp looks really, really good. I would want to take that burden off of the Chomp. If anything, I think... okay, so Meowscarada leads off. U-turns on the Dudunsparce. It could be Rattled here. It is Rattled Rocky Helmet, so something for the Meowscarada at least. Goes for Flamethrower, okay. I would have loved to see Rocks go up there. But yeah, gets the Toxic off on the Blastoise and more Helmet Chip. This is not bad. But now Annihilape does come in and gonna close combat the Dudunsparce and it's dead. So if that was the Rocker, you're just not having Rocks for the rest of the game. That's kind of rough. So Garchomp comes in and it is the Rocker. So unfortunate, I think. I think Rocks on Dodun and then like... imagine an SD this turn. That would have gone so crazy. But we just have to get Rocks up instead. Gholdengo does come in trying to spin block, okay. Garchomp comes in on Gholdengo. And Gholdengo's gonna trick a Choice Scarf. Locks it into Rocks, okay. So both sides bringing Rocks Garchomp. Keegan rolling over in his grave. But yeah, Zapdos is gonna be able to come in on this. Shadow Ball is doing half. You can't really stay in on this. You have to go for a Heat Wave eventually. It is going to do a lot of damage, but trades the Zapdos in the process. I think this is probably a fine trade for meta, not going to lie. This Gholdengo was a little bit of annoying. I guess not really, actually. The Zapdos was more annoying than the Gholdengo. So maybe a win for Gorex there. Anyways, knocks off. We assume this is Scarf, so Quaquaval is going to get a free setup turn. Oh my god, a critical hit into the Annihilape. That's going to be a tough one. Because it was looking like he was playing like Scarf Annihilape. Low-key. So maybe it could have done something. Oh my god. Another crit. Yeah, it could be Choice Band. I think Choice Band makes sense, right? It's not Choice Band. You freaking liar. Is this going to be a quick Quavel sweep? It looks like it. Do you see a Sucker Punch? Plays around the Sucker Punch. Okay, sure. Yeah, you just crit twice. Unlucky. Now Garchomp is going to come in. Going to take this Flower Trick like it's nothing. Misses Scale Shot. Oh my god. Okay. Now you have to go Thundurus. You still resist this, so it's fine. 54? That does so much damage. Is that not Scarf? Is it Banded Meow? CB Meow Scarf Annihilape could be? Wow. Calm Mind's up on the Thundurus. Oh, don't tell me Meta brings this one back. Terra Dark, yeah, that'll do it. Why didn't he Terra Dark the first turn? Could have blocked a Prankster T-Wave. I guess it doesn't matter. You're fat enough, you live everything. Goes for the freeze. Yeah, he brought this one back. That Quaquaval totally should have won, but he like respected Sucker Punch, I guess. But when are you fitting Sucker Punch onto this moveset? You need a move for Garchomp. Yeah, you need Flower Trick, you need to move for Guard Chomp. When are you ever fitting Sucker Punch? Sucker doesn't even make sense into his team. Maybe it's CB. You could argue Sucker Punch for like a Scale Shot Garchomp. But no, I don't think so. I think you need Play Rough. I don't even know if that's Scarf. Maybe Thundurus is just bad. But 54 with Flower Trick? That feels like so much. I don't know. I'm not gonna check. Meta comes out the other side with a Terra Dark. Booster Speed Iron Crown. Alright, now last replay. So, this is for all the marbles. Now we see this time meta with the Torrenting Lu Palafin core. The last time it was Gorix, right? Yeah, Gorix had this exact build basically in game 1. But now it's going to be meta. His turn. Because you're only boosting U-turn with Protean. What if we just EQ the Meow? Well, you don't let Crown Calm Mind, but it's just gonna kill the Chomp, right? Hold on. How healthy was the Chomp? Yeah, it was at 38 after the Flower Trick. You have to assume the what's it move? The Steel Stab move. What is it? I'm blanking for some reason. Tachyon Cutter, that's the one. You gotta assume it kills at 38. So even if he Earthquakes here, I think Crown probably still has it, locked up. Just because we saw it 1v1s everything that's left. Maybe a Hypnosis Darkrai could do something. Maybe if you are Scarf Darkrai, which it is Scarf, maybe you could Trick and then lock it into Calm Mind, maybe? I don't know. Maybe there was outs, but I think Scale Shot was probably correct. He would have probably won if he hits it and then can just Earthquake the Crown. Yeah, it's probably just a win. So you take a 90% win chance, right? Rather than trying to be all silly about it. Could it be Focus Blast? I don't think you have a reason to run Focus Blast. I think Ice Beam covers the Meowscarada in theory better into the Zapdos, so you'd rather have Dark Pulse, Trick, and then something else. I don't know what else, but you'd probably find a use for something. I don't know. Yeah, Focus Blast probably would have wrapped it up, but whatever. Terra Dark Crown would be obvious. Yeah, in prep, you probably expect it. But yeah, either way, we're moving on to game 3. And now let's look at this matchup, right? So Enamorus and the Steel type is Metagross. The other Fairy Resist is an Iron Moth. So Earth Power, almost surely going to be on the set. So Special Enamorus, most likely. Whimsicott smokes. Does it? I don't know. Whimsicott is really weak. Sure, it looks like the dual stab is pretty good. And then you see Moonblast do 30% to Gouging Fire. And you're like, man. But yeah. Whimsicott does kind of threaten a lot with Encore. Right? Can't really DD very safely. I guess you kind of can, right? Because Whimsicott in on Gouging Fire is just a crazy play. Definitely a difficult button to click. We do see a Golurk. That's pretty rare. How's Golurk looking? Low-key, Earthquake Poltergeist? Kind of good. Kind of good. What's the Palafin answer, though? The Water Resists are looking pretty lacking. So maybe you can play around that Palafin. Yeah, that looks really hard to stop, low-key. I think you just can't Terra your Moth out of Poison, because those T-Spikes are going to be really annoying for the Palafin. But if you just play a game plan around that Palafin, I think you're probably going to be fine, no? Seems like a really strong piece. The checklist that needs to happen for Palafin to just sweep the endgame is really weaken the Gren maybe if it has Grass Knot. Just weaken the Gren into +1 Jet Punch range. Click Bulk Up one time and you've won the game. It really is that simple, it seems. maybe some hazards up from Ting Lu will go a long way. You can obviously spin block the Glimmora with your Metagross. Yeah, I think honestly Meta has like an insane matchup here, no? Maybe the Gren can do something offensively, right? So maybe like a Teratorn with AV can stop the Gren. That's something you see a lot in the Gren matchup with Torn. Just Assault Vest, some like neutral Terra, something that, you know, isn't necessarily weak to any coverage move that's likely. In this case, what would it be? Like Terra Dark, something like that. Then you get like Terra Dark Foul Play into Gouging Fire. That could be pretty useful. But maybe you want something that resists the Enamorus. Maybe like Terra Poison could be reasonable as well. Just like some like defensive Terra on Torn looks nice. Just going like Terra Flying to boost your attacks doesn't seem like the best option into Glimmora, just on first glance. But who knows, he might see it a different way. Then Goric Society, I think you really have to play around that like Gouging Fire plus Greninja offensive core. There's no removal on Meta's side, so maybe you can spike stack with your Glimmora, something like that. Could be reasonable. If you're able to get up a lot of hazards and there's like no boots, that could be a pretty reasonable game plan, right? Just like wait for Meta to wear down his own team by switching. Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit more even in that sense, right? The hazards do play a big role here. Let's look into it. All right, so the Terra is going to be Poison on the Torn and probably Fire on the Moth. Actually, you probably can't afford both of them, Terra. There's going to be Terra Ground on the Whimsicott. That makes more sense. Yeah, Torn plus Iron Moth is way too expensive. You can't afford that. It's going to be Terra Water on the Enamorus. So very interesting. So what's going to be the game plan here? So we lead Glimmora. So that makes me think you probably want to just get up your hazards and go. So Toxic Debris is going to go up. But yeah, you're going to be able to go Torn here on the rocks. Okay. Gonna save it, trying to get spikes up later. Makes sense. Assault Vest Golurk takes 12 from Psychic. Yo, Metagross the switch into Golurk? What? Why did that work? Why did that low-key work? I mean, it didn't, right? The Metagross is dead. But it weakens the Golurk at least. But now Enamorus is looking a little bit more threatening. It is Boots Moth. Good thing for meta, right? Now Gouging Fire does come in. It's toxic. Oh, but the Flare Blitz, that's Choice Banded Gouging Fire. Something is going to take a lot of damage here. And it's going to be the Ting Lu. Is this a 2-hit KO? Boots shouldn't remove T-Spikes. Wait, why do we switch? Why do we switch out our Gouging Fire? What? Am I missing something? Toxic Flare Blitz does 79%. You just click it again, right? Weaken the Ting Lu switch in or kill the Moth? Doubles Glimmora. I guess you get your spike up. No. I don't like this at all. Earth Powers the Moth coming in is crazy, you know? Oh my god. But regardless, there is a Terra Poison Torn, so the T-Spikes are not going to be an issue either way. But yeah, it took Rock, so I got to assume this is AV Torn. Mesprit comes in, takes the U-turn. Calm Mind, okay. The Ting Lu isn't at full HP. Do we see a Draining Kiss? Okay, I was going to say Grass Knot maybe. But Ruination's going to do a lot. Are we like Ruination EQ? Oh, that's going to be an issue. Oh, looks like that's going to be a set. He doesn't have a way to actually kill the Mesprit. Anyways, Torn is going to come in on this Calm Mind. We're going to see a Terra Blast most likely. Oblique and misses. That's tough. I don't know why he went Hard Moth instead of Torn on the Glimmora. Yeah, he's just a silly little guy. I don't know. Anyways, gets the regen, switches into Whimsicott, switcheroos the Scarf onto Enamorus. So we're now locked into Draining Kiss into an AV Torn. So probably not going to be able to 1v1 this. Yeah, has to get out of there. Predicts that with a U-turn. Okay, interesting. Now Palafin comes in. Big Palafin is finally in. Wave crashes for its KO. Obviously, you have to sack one there. But now Enamorus comes in, and now what? Ting Lu's gonna come in? Don't we have a Torn for this? I mean, you click Earth Power either way, but I don't know. That felt like an unnecessary sack. Close combat. Okay, so it's probably Choice Banded Palafin then if we're switching out just to switch moves. Yeah, now Greninja comes in. You have to go Torn. This is looking over. Dark Pulse. Wait. Hold on. Why did we Dark Pulse again? Is that Loki a throw? I guess you can't go Gouging Fire because it's CB, so no boots. You're taking Spike and Toxic. I feel like if this just got Chip on Greninja though, doesn't Palafin Loki win? Maybe you have Water Shuriken or something? Shuriken would save you. I don't know. Maybe he knows something that I don't. But yeah, this is now cooked. That flinch was crazy though. Because if you get like a Bleak Wind off or something like that, then Jet Punch, and then your Choice Banded Jet Punch into Gouging Fire probably doesn't kill actually. From 61. Yeah, probably not. So maybe Gorix was fine. How could Finn win? Maybe a speed drop would do it, yeah. Maybe. Maybe Gorix was fine. Maybe I'm just freaking out over nothing. I didn't like switching out the Gouging Fire though earlier. When the Ting came in. Like here. Why are we not Flare Blitzing again? It's just free value, no? Imagine you Flare Blitz this Ting Lu. The spike never goes up. Because it's Choice Banded. Does this 2-hit KO Ting Lu from Choice Band? I swear it does so much damage. But instead we double Glamora, not even to get up any hazards. We sack our Glamora basically to chip Ting Lu, which is what Flare Blitz would have done so much better. Yeah, I don't understand that one at all. But he did come out with the win, so Gorix is going to be in the top 4. And let's look at the matchups real quick for top 4. Oh, this is just for the thumbnail. So round 4 is going to be Boas versus Gorix, and then PZZ versus Sage. My two goats going head to head. This is unlucky. Flare Blitz ban. Loki does nothing to defensive Ting. I mean, Fizdef Ting, sure, but it's definitely especially defensive. Okay, now we're calcing this. We're calcing this for sure. So we saw Glamora into Ting Lu, Earth Power. No, we need Energy Ball. Okay, you're right. This is literally bold Ting Lu with max roll, max special attack Glamora. Okay. So then Gouging Fire with Choice Band. Adamant. Okay, yeah. Maybe it didn't do a lot. But if you assume Spadef, like the standard set, I mean, that's good damage. I guess Fizdef, because nothing else wants to take on the Gouging Fire, makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I see the vision. I just always assume Spadef when you first see a Ting Lu. I think Blitz was still correct, though. Yeah, I think so as well. Like, it's information that we have in hindsight. You don't go into it assuming Fizdef, bold Ting Lu, or like Impish, whatever. Whatever, he won. And then let's look at the matchups, right? Boas versus Gorix. I think between these two, it's like somewhat even. I'm gonna go ahead and predict Gorix by like a really small margin. And yeah. Do I? let's see. The Boas replays, he kind of got bailed multiple times, no? And then Gorex. I think Gorex has like a better track record, like in the past few years, of like solid performances. I would expect him on average to beat Boas, so that's what I'm going to predict. I'm going to predict Gorex, and then for PZZ versus Sage, this is so sad because these are my two GOATs going head to head. If I have to pick one though, I'm picking Sage to take this series. I think Sage is probably definitely top 3 SV right now. In terms of like all players, I think top 3, top 4, something like that. Just because I have an ego and I would put myself ahead. That's all it is. Then I think JCM is also really, really talented. Me, I have an ego. Get over it. Yeah. But I think Sage is really, really good. And then PZZ is good as well. It's going to be a really good series, I think. Hopefully we get to watch that one. I mean, of course we're going to get to watch that one. But I will be streaming. I'll probably wait until the finals, and we can do the semifinals and the finals back to back in a stream. But yeah, this was a good good few series. Yeah, I'm going to predict Sage and Gorex in the finals. And then, yeah, we'll see if that's true. We need to catch it live. Ooh, that would be kind of fire. Live stream the finals. If I do that, I might have to put a delay on the stream, which is probably fine. But yeah, if the times match up, I might look into that. Yeah, could be cool. All right, that's gonna be all for me. A little bit of a shorter stream today, but that's all I have for today. I gotta go do some stuff. And thanks for watching. Join the Discord if you want. You know, I'm gonna post all my content there. We have some coaching stuff going up, I think, later today. Then I have a few that are recorded. Just need to, you know, finish those up. But yeah, definitely one coming out today. And then, yeah, some more coming out in the near future. Alright. That's gonna be all for me. See you in the next one.